Hello, it's Andrew Eborn here again with another edition of the Andrew Eborn Show, and I am delighted that my very special guest is Charmaine. How are you, Charmaine?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. You're glowing all pink tonight. How's that going? You've got like a little
Oh,
glow about you.
can you read it?
What does it say? Read it out to me.
And into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul. That
Fantastic.
basically sums up what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, is that where you've been? Have you been in the forest?
I have actually, yes. I did ecstatic dance. It was more in fields, but there was a lot of woodlands around for full moon, which was really good. Living that hippie vibe, feet on the earth. And to introduce ecstatic dance to people that had done it before but didn't know the steps, and to see them enjoy themselves. And it was great. There was a fire right at the end of the field, and there were people banging their drums and singing songs, and I was just having it with my arms in the air, saluting the moon, thinking finally. So it was a great way to connect without actually really even speaking to that many people. And we did cacao, so it's a great big heart opening ceremony. So yes, I have been out in nature, but this is more to do with ayahuasca. In the last month, I've been on quite a journey and feel like I'm going through some mass rude awakening that I wasn't prepared for. And I dare say quite a lot of people will understand what I'm talking about if they had no prior knowledge and was in total ignorance like I was, as to the people that run the country, all the people that were silenced, the victims, the children that are now being rescued. And I found it really hard to deal with, especially when I was met with silence, when I was trying to talk about this stuff and no one was answering me. I was asking reporters, why isn't this being reported? Like, clearly the evidence is there, the whistleblowers are there. So I really struggled. That's why no one's seen or heard from me for the last month. And I thought, what do I do with all this? So I started doing my research in a way that I understand. And yes, I did have some cognitive dissonance going on. My worldview was blown apart. So I started researching, like, what can I do to help? And there was only one person that could actually help me and direct me to get what I needed. And basically, what I learned was, in terms of consciousness, so all this fear that we've all been feeling, the uncertainty, the unknown, thinking like, how are we going to make informed choices when the information we are receiving is actually misinformation a lot of the time. So I've been truth seeking and stuff like that. And part of it on the spiritual path is that this is all good. The world's waking up. Even people like me that were still walking around with their eyes half closed, we're waking up. And more people are doing their soul searching. Certainly, I would have continued being a human doing and wouldn't have taken this time to introflect, self-reflect and think, how can I be of service to people now? Which a lot of people are thinking, like, what's next for me? How do we ascend this, which is what the mass awakeness and the rise of ascension, if you've heard these terms, is all about. So what makes us ill physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually is those lower vibrations: fear, anxiety, depression, stress. How many people have felt stress in the last 3 months? I can speak firsthand that stress is a killer. I had ITP, which is an unknown rare blood disorder, and I truly believe it is caused by stress. I was told they didn't know how long they can keep me alive. Trust me, stress kills. So with whatever is going on for us, it's really important not to be in those lower vibrations. And I experienced pure anger, outrage. I was projecting what I was feeling as I was researching, desperately trying to find something to say, no, It's all a conspiracy, which actually means truth tellers, right? So I was in these lower vibrations, which is why no one heard from me. How can I do a high vibe channel when I'm not feeling that at that time? And someone come to me, they was like, Shah, have you heard about this? Like, it's doing me head in. And so I explained to him, whilst we're in these low vibrational states of being, we're going to cause illness to ourselves in any way that's going to manifest. The negative law of awareness and consciousness is like attracts like. So we're going to attract a tribe that matches our vibe. And I said to Ash, as light workers, it only takes 1% of the national globe to keep the vibrations high, because we've already seen the consciousness scale. We know that enlightenment is like 700 resonance, and then love, gratitude, which we've practiced, the gratitude attitude, is at 500, and states like anger, guilt, and shame, which are also things that I experienced, because I was like, have I to put my head in a bucket of I've been someone who's colluding with this behaviour and chosen to not see it? So I was in those low vibrational places. And when I learned that it only takes 1% of global consciousness to raise the vibrations, to make sure we are not stuck in these places of mind control. What do I mean? We all voluntarily put ourselves on lockdown through pure fear. I was one of those people. We was all vibrating so low. So it's really important for us as individuals, and light workers all over the place are joining and doing online meditations, because the more people that meditate at certain times as a group collective consciousness, we will ascend. And all that evil, the atrocities, the crimes against humanity, children and everything else, that will just disappear, because it has to, because as we ascend, they've got nothing to suck to. So that is how I dealt with what consumed me for that month. And I was like, what next? Where do I go from here? Because I feel like it was and I've been stuck, like blocked. And other people might experience this during lockdown, where we wasn't able to work and stuff like this. And I really don't like lazy people, but I've been really, really stuck. So I'm about to do something I swore I would never do again, which is ayahuasca, the mother medicine. I've done ayahuasca before. I will read you a part of my journal, and I'm turning to the plant medicines to become my teachers again. I've learned lots through plant medicines. I feel like I need to rebuild my trust with plant medicines and put my trust into other healers. It's as if this time of introspection has made me realise sometimes, like in therapy, you have supervision, which keeps you in track. So you discuss sessions with your supervisor, and that she will make you aware of, like, well, was there any transference in that session? How did that resonate with you, to keep me totally separate from them? So in a way, I suppose I'm turning to the plant medicines, even though I'm petrified, because looking back through my journal, I realised how far I've come. Is there anything you'd like to ask me so far?
Well, it's a fascinating account. I mean, so far. Well, first thing I want to make sure, is this safe?
Ayahuasca? Well, I'm still here, and I've had one of the most traumatic experiences in Peru when I was in the jungle for a month. So, yes, as with anything we do in life, it's about, well, obviously the medicine, but it's also about setting your state of being, not just your state of mind, but your overall health. Like, there's a strict dieta you have to follow for 3 weeks in advance. And I struggle a lot because I love sweets and chocolates. And even on a, like at the moment, it's really, really calling me now because I'm getting so close to ceremony and I'm so wrapped up in fear. And it calls you. When the medicine calls you, it calls you. So the timing must be right. And it hasn't called me for a good 2.5 years. And yeah, there's more accounts of the incredible healing capacity of the plant medicines than there is of people dying from them or suffering badly after them. I believe, I don't know, all we can do is choose what feels right for us at that time. And like I said, I've been in some of the deepest ayahuasca journeys in the jungle where I was physically, like claws, gouging out pieces of my armpit that were severely bruised. I was making such horrific noises that the person, my best friend laying next to me, could see me purging snakes, and she had to turn around. The medicines, when they work through me, it's like electric lightning bolts, and my body twitches out like a not properly working clone. It does all that on the medicine, and it is just purely where it's working through every single layer of my being, and it's moving energy. So when you go into a ceremony, it's all about your intention as well. You have to respect the dieta, otherwise the medicine is going to kick the shit out of you. And at first, just the dieta of no drink, well, not the drink, I was never a drinker, but no drugs. Whoa, 3 weeks. Sugar was a breeze to me when I embarked on the plant medicines. Staying in for 3 weeks, even going to a barbecue, I left crying because I knew they was going to start sniffing. But I was so scared and so respectful of the plant medicine. Those 3 weeks was a test, and the plant medicines kept me on the straight and narrow until the addiction wasn't a thing anymore. And when I say plant medicines, I'm including Cambo, which is something I had done in this year. Not in this year, in this country. It's legal in this country. They burn you, break the skin like cigarettes, going zit, 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 but I had mine on my legs. And then they use the poison of a toad and they put it on that open wound. Some people have lots of dots, and you have to drink about 2 litres of warm water. And when you go into ceremony, and first thing I had was happy, and that was blown up my nose and made me feel like my skull was about to explode. And I swore blind I'd never do that again, but I have. And then once the poison goes on and you've got all this water inside you, you've got a bucket, you lose all your dignity. And I only turned to Cambo because I seriously needed to kick the addiction to cocaine. I was a functioning addict. I still lived the life of Riley, but it wasn't for my highest best interest and good anymore. And the spirit of that plant had her clutches into me so deep. And she was like the most beautiful woman, like Snow Queen. That's the only way I can describe her. In other plant medicine ceremonies, she used to call me and I'd go to follow her and then realise, no, it's a trick. And then bop, all these walls would go up and I'd feel frustrated. So it's been a long journey, but I certainly wouldn't be here now without the plant medicines and the medicine wheel teachings. So I'm going to read you, and I haven't actually read this back because my experience in Peru was extremely traumatic and it took about a year to put me back together.
Well, and
So,
this is what, just before you read that, though, Charmaine, this is what I want to make sure, because if we're going to go through this, first I want to make sure that it is safe for you, Is there somebody with you at the moment who could help you if you need help?
I'm not doing it now.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. This is okay.
No way.
That's,
No,
that's what I
no. I
thought you were
will be.
leading to. Okay, so no.
No. I will be going to see a proper ayahuasquero
Right.
who will be doing the singing, the healing, holding space. They are fully initiated medicine people. No, I'll be in, yeah, no, I don't
You
do
got
these
me
things
worried
on
then,
my own.
Shaman. I thought you were reading about all this, saying how traumatic it was.
No,
It took a year
but
to recover.
it it is being recorded. People will be able to see it. And obviously, you've seen me just before I do Aya. The next time we speak will be afterwards. I don't know if it'll be after the ceremony or the next day. So yes, this is me before, and then once I've done the Aya journey, I'll write a journal in the ceremonies, and we'll see what unfolds. But this is to give you an idea. So this was the fourth ayahuasca journey. It's dated the 14th of June 2017, and I've got heavy vine, black vine. So the ayahuasca is called the vine of the dead, the vine of the soul, okay? Ceremonies are all about intentions, like everything else I talk about. So my intention when I drank in the fourth session was to have the attachment to cocaine pulled out. This was my fourth ceremony. I'd also done Cambo by this time, and even though I wasn't doing it anywhere near as much, it was still a massive struggle for me to be able to go to social events around people that was on it and not be on it myself, which sounds ridiculous now, but that's where I was at. I also had age issues, so it was like I was stuck emotionally in the mindset of someone who was age 22, and I'm not joking. All my boyfriends for about 10 years were age 23, and it don't sound good saying all my boyfriends, but I am I am a free spirit. And I was going for healing and stuff, and I'd like, you get to your late 30s, and I'm 41 now, that's not funny anymore, okay? But as I've read this, it really unfolds how deep my issues around getting older meant. So I was still really attached to a lot more things than just the drug. And then the third intention was to prepare for Peru. That's the most ridiculous intention I think anyone could write. There's nothing that could have prepared me for Peru. So, where are we? Lots of shadow stuff gets brought up in Peru. Lots of shadow work. And shadow work represents the negative aspects of our personalities. Work for it. We are adults. Breathe. Accept that everything shown is a part of me. So these are the things I was trying to say to myself to reaffirm when I was drinking the medicine. Medicine isn't something you do for fun, by the way. Medicine is something you need your warrior boots on to do. You show up, you do the work. I'm completely safe and secure, and I'm going to be a better person. Everything is amplified on Aya. It makes us look at things from other perspectives, can make us see ourselves from our friends and family's point of view. So that was what I wrote down to try and get myself in a comfortable mindset before I went in. And then the doubt starts speaking. I am actually really happy with my life right now. Do I want a family or boyfriend and risk my bliss being imposed, taken away, interrupted, shared? My life, job, home, friends, social life, and family is fabby-dozy. So I was actually in a really good place when I did Aya. I just wanted to let go of the cocaine and the age issues. You know, so we're getting old, everyone has to do it. That's what I was hoping for from this journey. So prior to drinking, and I was in a private ceremony. I'd already done 3 ceremonies trying to kick some of these bad habits, and they were group ceremonies. So then I booked a private one, which is what this is. It was just me and one other person, 2 people. At the start of this journey, the shaman said to me, this journey is going to be a big one. Death of the ego, Charmaine. And then I've written, I can do it. I need it. I'm one resistant, resilient person. Okay, I did 1 cup full to the brim. And then I did another cup. And then I did half a cup. So, cup 1. Same as DMT, patterns, monkey picking his nose with his foot on my chest, his dark, large being trying to pull me out. The jester comes with his dark threats. I wasn't scared of any of it. Even the teasing of my head splitting open. I wanted to surrender. I wanted to go. Then I was aware, as I usually am on Changa, that my body is in its clear, unpenetrable, tough coffin. It lies about a foot over me. Nothing can get through it. Not fear, not love. All I can do is watch. Dead, stiff. Like a beautiful china doll underneath. I couldn't break out. I don't know how. I do want to. I get frustrated. I get angry, sad. Tears. The flecks of colour are all around me. I open my mouth. Maybe I can breathe them in. Clear, reinforced bubble is self-protection. I've built it. Then I get interrupted. The new eye drinker has a real bad time and totally pulls me from the teachings. I can hear breathe. And I wonder if I'm in trouble because I was so absorbed in my own journey. As soon as I realise I'm okay, I'm angry. Really fucking angry. I wanted to shut the fuck up. Then I wonder where my compassion has gone. And I get up and go outside. I'm angry, frustrated. I've hit the same brick wall as I do on Changa. The shaman comes out. I tell her I'm fine, but that my ego won't die because I've cocooned myself in an armour of protection that's so strong that I don't know how to smash it or take it off. I told her I'm angry and frustrated. She already knew. I felt pure despair. She suggested another cup, number 3. I said, okay. I drank some water, went to the toilet. I couldn't be sick, but I was heavy in my tummy. I drank a third of a cup. The shaman can't pour the cocaine as she can't get under my armour. I start unscrewing, pulling, pushing layers of armour off of me. The shaman brings Vicks over to help me breathe deep. The other lady starts having a bad time. For the 3rd or 4th time tonight, healing has to be aborted because the other woman won't fucking breathe. It occurs to me that I need a real private ceremony. This is the only real inner searching I've found which supersedes my intellect, reasoning, tricks. And once again, something I try to do for positive self-growth gets interrupted by someone more needy than me. My armour is back in place. It belongs here. Once again, I'm aware my needs don't matter and are less important. I roll into a fetal position. I cry and I feel like I'm about 5 or 6 years old. Is this when I learnt to shut off? Learnt that cutting myself off, even when love is shown, is safer than being open and then left abandoned? Raw? Open to receive? Receive what? Nothing? Then the sadness and disappointment which needs healing comes in. My armour does a great job. I don't have to feel any of that shit. Right now it's not helping because I can't open up to receive love or the colour or healing. Everything light, positive and beautiful just bounces off my transparent cocoon. All I can do is watch and be the china doll trapped and protected inside the armoured prison of protection I've made, reinforced, groomed and fed for most of my life. How many times do I have to fight, struggle, drag out the monkey, be tempted with the opening and colours of the universe without ever being able to touch, taste and feel them? We're nearly done. It makes me sad. I want to give up. The fight is wearing me out. I wonder whether to sleep now. The internal conflicts and the other person in the ceremony are cracking me. I've done this journey with Changa enough. Brick wall, the fear, the tease, the suffocation. I know I've pulled off some armour because I can feel air as if for the first time. It touches my skin. Air has penetrated my armour. I'm grateful, relieved. I absorb it. The multitude layers of my cocoon suggest what they are. Self-worth issues. I deserve only da 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 da. This is what I deserve da 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 da. I'm never going to have better than da 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 da. Then the shaman comes over. I'm somewhere else in the journey. She's done some healing and she says, I am a woman now. Tell the child. The China doll in the cocoon separates from me. I cry. I am a woman now. I can look after me. I don't know what to do with my Egyptian mummified, stiff China doll me. I'm dead, but peacefully dead. Perfectly slim and flawless, like a child princess hippie. Not a tiara type of princess, just one of innocence and purity, like Cleopatra. Cleopatra was nothing like that, but I didn't learn that until a long time later. I cuddle her stiff body, still cocooned. I feel like I have to let her go. I stroke her and say sorry. 38 years a prisoner of my own prison. Dead little girl, or well protected and preserved. Doesn't matter. Eventually I pass her up to the light. Fear immediately kicks in. Without the China doll, and now I'm a woman, it means I'm going to be fat, middle-aged, existing. No. Then age came into my journey. What's it going to be like to be comfortable being a woman? Have I just released Petra Pan? That's the persona I used to have. I like the fun, hedonistic, spontaneous, joyful, happy me. Then I realised fleetingly that I can be that person. But how? That's not acceptable to be like that at that age. More fear. Acceptable to who? Charmaine, why do you give a fuck? Charmaine, it's only more fear. It's your ego. Who am I? And what's left under these armoured onion layers? I touch my body. I pull blocks from my arms, legs, belly. I pat them into the floor. Patch, mama, there's some hoochie there for you to eat. I pull in some semi light in through my crown. Upon reflection, I realise now it didn't flow through my body. I still can't receive. I prod my body. I'm still slim. I can be a woman and still keep my physical body. This shell, this life's motor. Phew! I don't have to give up and plod along, just existing, feeling mundane. So what am I going to do? Fear of becoming like my mum. But she's great, happy, healthy. She's done her journey of fear, the addictions and everything else. Maybe I can draw some strength, motivation and guidance from her. Don't I want to be as happy, contented, secure, settled, stable, in love, looked after, slim, young, intelligent and as smart as her? Fear has tricked and blocked me from her for years. That needs to die. That fear needs to fuck off. I get cramps and pains in the belly, lots of them. I'm worn out. I'm tired of fighting myself. Medicine is still in me. Do I want another journey? I feel like I've done my best and given this ceremony my all. I know how to unclap the prison of protection. It cages me quickly. So I have to keep practicing, realising it until the almond onions layers are permanently eaten by Pachamama. Small steps, Charmaine. Just keep going and don't give up. Integrate subtle changes every day and learn how to build a relationship with my true, authentic self. She's in there. Make space and nurture the new positive changes. Embrace the woman within me. Listen to her and feed her goodness. I can still embrace Petra Pan and my hedonistic side. Just incorporate the woman I am and let her override and be free from the cocoon. So, the shaman then comes out into the garden. She said, Peru is going to be massive for you, Charmaine. Daily realizations and things I have to do. 2 weeks of all this building up. conflicts internally, use Jaguar energy. That's a good note to self. I'll be calling her in on this ceremony. So Jaguar represents consuming fear, right? Good job I read this again. Right, she said, my biggest fears are actually going to serve my highest best. I literally have to keep going until I'm worn out and have no choice but to let my ego die. Then I will just take it. It takes 6 to 12 months to process a Peru trip. I need healing before, because I might suffer so much soul loss when I'm in Peru that I won't know or recognise myself when I'm back and won't know what to do. If I'd have read that now, that last paragraph, I would never have gone out to Peru. However, that last paragraph, the soul loss, once you've experienced extreme soul loss and you actually don't know who you are when you come back, turns you into a phenomenal soul retrieval person. So I actually incorporate soul retrieval in all of my healings, which is a positive from Peru, because I know this all sounds really bonkers, but they are the notes that I took in 2017. That was journey number 4. So you can see there's been a from what you know of me so far, there's been a massive growth. And my intentions for as you can see, as the story unfolded, it directly related to my intentions going into that journey. And yeah, how angry I was in it is quite funny, actually. So my intentions this time, I feel like I'm going through another sort of shift in life. I do not know. I don't know what I'm meant to be doing. All I know is that as light workers, we should be doing our best to raise our vibrations and those around us, and be there to support those whose worldviews will come tumbling down and that are going to suffer at this time. So I'm turning to the medicine to show me how to be a better person and how to be of better service. And I do think there's going to be another ego death coming through. The amount of resistance I've been coming up against, it's a plant medicine issue. So, yeah, I don't know. And I want my memories. I've never had a memory. All right, so this is really interesting, because normally people that don't have a memory will lose their memory at a certain age, and that will usually be at a time in trauma. So past life regression, hypnosis and stuff can take you back to that time, and through therapy and healing, it can often help to bring back your memory. Now, when you've never had a memory, it's different for some reason, and I don't understand that reason. All I know is I've seen enough healers, counsellors, psychotherapists, and my memory's never got any better. I've tried the self-hypnosis things when you go to bed, and so I'm going to ask Aya to show me what I need to do, show me what I need to see, or show me what the block is, remove the block to that memory. I don't know how many sessions that will take. I don't know if this is the medicine for that. And I wish I was getting a call in to do a different medicine, if I'm honest. Aya is probably the hardest one I've done. Even though Cambo, sicking in a bucket, luminous projectile vomit and being slumped up against the wall afterwards is what finally booted the rest of cocaine out of me. But yeah, even through all that, it comes out both ends on Aya. Like, I will, my little, when I go, so what you pack, so we've covered the dieta, we've covered what it was like for me years ago, what my intentions were, what the journey looked like then, and how the process has evolved since then. And I've discussed my intentions for this ceremony coming up, and you'll be there to see the process as it unravels. I'll read out whatever notes I take during the process. So when you go into an eye ceremony, along with the dieta, which is to get your mind, body, soul, and spirit ready for something really sacred and life-changing sometimes, I normally take a blanket, a pair of slippers, a couple of pairs of knickers, and a couple of pairs of trousers, because it's real that you might poo yourself and be laid in it. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I have hung off of a bridge in Peru, desperate to go to the toilet and not wanting to go in the Maloka. And there was a bridge from the Maloka to the huts and of toilets, but there were already people in those two. So I hung off a bridge. So toilet issues are really, really real. So I normally go crawling because I don't want to disturb people in their journey. So I pack spare ones. I haven't got any adult nappies. When we went to Peru, we did try laying in adult nappies, but yeah, I won't be doing that in this one. And my eye mask, my journal, and my mesa. I've got to pack my mesa. That comes everywhere with me. I literally hug it. It's like my rock.
Charmaine, what's a mesa?
So a mesa is a shaman's medicine bundle. Each stone in it represents, each stone in it, can you see there?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, each of those stones represent a different form of healing. So that's taken all of my life since, well, not my life, all of my life on the medicine wheel, which is about 5 years, I think, to build. And each stone carries healing properties, and I will have done a lot of work with those stones before. So it is like a power bundle. I will be going round the medicine wheel. It's like an altar, but I will use those stones on different parts of people's bodies. People will come to the mesa for shamanic healing, and they'll just look at a stone or a couple of stones that will call out to them. They're allowed to pick them up, touch them, feel them. Each of those stones represents a specific healing and teaching of the medicine wheel. So we start at the south on the medicine wheel that I was taught. South represents serpent energy, and the directions that I'm about to discuss we honour when we open sacred space, which is something we do at the start of everything sacred when we're smudging ourselves. So the south is about shedding the past, the way a snake sheds its skin all at once, easily and effortlessly. And when you're initiated on the medicine wheel, admittedly, my naivety, to me, it was just like being a scout, you know, dib, dib, dob, dob, yeah, I'm initiated. I had no idea that once you step on this path and you start to do your initiations, that things in your life are going to change, whether you like them or not, energetically, and you feel it. So when I first went round the medicine wheel, and I'll never forget it, I lost the 3 Bs. And it made me release. This was at the same time when I wrote those Aya journals. I lost the 3 Bs literally within 2 months. Baby, boyfriend, business. Basically, I was so stressed at such an unhealthful rate, running 400 cam girls, the business, doing refurb on the house. I constantly had 2 phones on the go. I was training. I was busy. But I wasn't listening to my mind, body, and soul. Now, I've already had 2 life-threatening illnesses from being a workaholic. How many more chances is the universe going to give me before I start listening? And I thought, you know, it's to do with the cocaine. No, the medicine wheel shows you all different ways that you're entangled and enmeshed in all different realms. This can go back to, you know, what's in our DNA, what we've learned. So it really unravels you. So that's the south. The west, we do past life regressions in the west. The west is all about jaguar energy. It's going to consume fear, because fear is only an emotion. An emotion is something that lingers for more than 20 minutes. That means it doesn't serve you. It is probably a toxic emotion, energy emotion. So that we need to smudge off, we need to shake off, we need to just get it away from us. A feeling doesn't last that long. That lets us know we're human, you know, but certain states like anger, it's okay to be angry, but not to stay angry. So the West teachings, when we're calling on Jaguar, she's either going to walk beside you as your ally, which is how you want her, or she's going to rip chunks out of you, which is what she loves to do to me, because I'm really resilient and like to think I know best, and clearly I don't. So the left-hand side of your mesa is about the healing. You've got to do the work. You've got to release that which no longer serves you. You've got to face your fears. You've got to lose some of your ego, because what is ego? It is just that prevents us from stepping into our authentic selves and doing what is right for us. So not all ego is healthy, but one day it was something that made us safe. Once you've done that, you reach the right hand side of the mesa, which is all about the visionary. So that's when you're doing things like you're connecting to your higher self, you're practicing, you're getting to know spirit, you're using your peripheral vision, your third eye, you're tuning into creator. You are not blocking these downloads that have come through you. You are not ignoring the callings that you're getting. So the north is hummingbird energy. Hummingbirds are beautiful, but what do? They fly on epic journeys, and no one knows, even to this day, no one knows how a hummingbird can fly forward and back, upwards and down, diagonal. And that's what we want to learn. We want to learn hummingbird energy. We want to come out of a world of probabilities, and we want to step into a world of possibilities. We want to breathe in the magic and joy. We want to taste the nectar of life, you know. So, and our ancestors and ancient wise ones, like we honor our guides as we go around as well. So the east is about eagle and condor energy. Eagle and condors fly at heights we've only dared to dream of, you know. They're up there on the mountain tops, on the plateaus. They can see things from a higher perspective. We need some of that in our lives sometimes, because it's all too easy to get wrapped up with the mundane and the ordinary. We've already done a journey to our power animal. We know there's something extraordinary way within our grasp. So eagle and condor teaches us to see through the eyes of our heart and listen with the ears of our soul. Take yourself out of your home, above your rooftop, above the clouds. Now, what does your worldview look like? How would you like it to change? You know, it can be so peaceful just going from your settee right up there. Kids might be moaning and everything. Pull in a bit of eagle and condor, because instead of that chatter or whatever winding you up, you'll be able to watch it like you're watching somebody else's kids, and you're watching a little TV show. You know, it's going to give you a different perspective that is for your highest best interest and good. The hub of the mesa is what holds all the directions together. And if you don't do the work in one, and you keep going around that wheel, it don't stop. I'd love to tell you it stops. It doesn't. You just keep going, peeling back more layers of the onion as you go round and round. And the hub holds it all together. So I'll be asking Aya what I need to learn next. I've been around the medicine wheel, and you just keep learning. So yeah, that's a little bit about the mesa, the shamanic teachings, how we apply them in life.
It's fascinating. I mean, in all of this, it's also, I had to say, a little bit scary. I mean, in terms of some of the things you say, there's been some of the most frightening things. Have you gone to see your doctor to make sure that you're safe?
If I'd have gone to see my doctor, he would have, years ago, well, considering the doctors said I need to be on penicillin for life anyway, because I've got no spleen and no immune. Turns out I'm one of the most healthiest people, and I do not take that medication unless I need it, exactly the same as the flu jab. They said I should be inoculated every single year. Why on earth would I put poison in my body that can easily develop into pneumonia when that is the biggest risk of not having a spleen? The spleen, by the way, is your immune system. So They would have loved to have pumped me full of antidepressants once upon a time. And there was a time when I was on 36 tablets a day when I had ITP, idiopathic prototypic purpura. There is research on this because they don't know what causes it or how to cure it, but it occurred in me and I was young, so they did do research into it. If you was to go to a Western doctor and talk about ayahuasca, they're possibly not going to know what you're talking about. And they're going to tell you what you don't do in this country isn't really any of their concern. How about coronavirus? Should we fill you full of fear? I'm not good. I've done my journey with Western medicines, and absolutely they've got their place. I'm not saying they haven't. But I'm also a counsellor and psychotherapist. And if you're out of balance, it will develop into a physical illness, which maybe then I'll go and see a Western doctor. But if there's something emotionally, spiritually, and mentally not right with you, and you don't want to have tablets thrown down your throat as sticky plasters, and that is exactly how I was taught at university when I'd done a degree. That is what the medication does. So why on earth would I want to pump myself full of toxic rubbish that I'm then going to become addicted to? And plenty of people are addicted to antidepressants or anti-anxiety tablets because they're not taught how to live with the basic fundamentals of life. And everyone gets anxiety. It's just the levels of anxiety. And it was the plant medicines, after doing a whole degree, been on the propranolol for social anxiety, and all of that, still had severe social anxiety. One medicine ceremony, 2 hours out of my life of going to see this shaman, never even heard of a shaman. And that changed my life. 2 hours, not hours and hours and hours in therapy, not 50 grand's worth of education, doing a counselling and psychotherapy degree. And for those people that are looking at other ways, that have tried all other conventional Western medicines, because let's have it right, it's only the West that doesn't see the value in these plant medicines. Portugal's having it off because they've decriminalised drugs, and as a result of that, the crime rates have gone down, the death rates have gone down, all the negativity associated between crime and drugs has gone down. It's a healthier nation. So people are going out there so that they don't have to travel to South America anymore to do these healing and teaching plants. They're teaching and healing plants. They're not for everybody. You need to have a calling to do the medicine. You've heard, I'm not wrapping this up in rose-tinted coloured spectacles at all, which is why I'm sharing this journey from start to finish. It is really important if people are looking for alternate ways to heal. Do your due diligence. Have firm intentions. Don't rock up thinking it's a jolly up. Like, I was on the medicine wheel doing my teachings way before I'd done plant medicines. Plant medicines were a no-no for me. I didn't want to do them. There's no part of me that looks forward to being burnt, having Cambo put on me. But what was the alternative? The alternative was just more corporate cocaine. Something had to change, and it had to change drastic. And the energy of that drug was so in me. She was my best friend. She was the only person. And that's how it turns out, as the spirit, that's how I connected with her. That hadn't let me down. She was a constant, just the same as work. And she was also the key to friendships, state of belonging, and all this other stuff that's really, 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 really deep. So sometimes it's all right having the knowledge. All addicts know what they should and shouldn't be doing. No addict wants to remain an addict. And if the plant medicine, I mean, let's look at methadone, shall we? Methadone. Do you know how much money the government makes from methadone? We've got Western doctors dishing it out, knowing these people are going to be addicted to that for life. And when they try and come off it, they are going to go through the most suicidal bouts. Now, there's plant medicines out there that can really, really help these people in a way that they need help in. Dosing them up with methadone every day and keeping them on high doses, even when they request to lower their dose, they're met with objection for their own safety. These people don't want to be addicted to methadone, and our Western doctors are dishing it out like no tomorrow. So I think, what would Western doctors say about this? I know a lot of anthropologists and I know a lot of professionals that are looking at other ways. And I think when it comes to our bodies, our lives, our state of health and well-being, you've only got to look at how many people were cured of cancer before they legalised something that they said was highly illegal, highly addictive, and all this other stuff. Is do things consciously. Don't, so long as we do whatever we choose to do in life, so long as we do it consciously, with full awareness, and we're doing the best we can in the only way we know how. That's all we can do in life.
Yeah.
And
I always say, Shaman, I always keep an open mind, as you know, on this program, and we always look at different ways. I always want to make sure that we balance things. I think that's right. I mean, you said a lot of things. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. You've described a lot of really exciting stuff. It helped you in a positive way. I always encourage positivity. I always encourage making sure that you can do things, but making sure that it's safe. And that's my biggest thing, is to make sure that it's safe. And having some experts who can say, this is a joke, this is what happens. I think that's my big concern. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in answer to your question, there's loads of people like Dennis McKenna, Graham Hancock, top, well educated, scientific background, anthropology background, Western medicinal backgrounds, and they go out to the jungle, they drink ayahuasca, they do documentaries, they've written books. I've read so much research, and more of and let's have it right, they totally banned any research on psychedelics in the late 60s, I think it was. Totally banned any research. So even if I was to go to a Western doctor and speak to them, they'd only ever actually be able to speak to me off a record, because there is no official record, because the government banned all research. Now, why would they do that on plant medicines like mushrooms, psilocybin? Come on. There's so much evidence out there of how this helps mental health. And I'm not talking about getting people hallucinating in the middle of a field. I'm talking about microdose. Why can't we put a plant medicine in a capsule and help heal these people so they're not addicted to Western medicines? Why aren't we allowed to do research, even if it's privately funded? I bet there's people out there that would love to see official research being done, but the government doesn't benefit from healthful people. In the jungle, you don't get all of these mental health disorders. You don't get arthritis because they're not wearing shoes and they're out and about, they're active. In the jungle, they don't have half the illnesses that we invite into our lives every single day by taking tablets and not asking questions about the contraindications and if there's any other alternatives that might be of use. Even if we was to ask these questions, would anyone recommend something that's illegal? Of course they wouldn't. So when I say due care and diligence, and that it's our own personal choices, all you can do is the best you know how. I'm perfectly healthy. It's worked. It's hard work. This isn't easy. This isn't something anyone would choose to do lightly. So I just think people have to pay respect to themselves and really, really think about what's right for them. And I don't mean plant medicines. I mean any choices that you make an informed decision. I had a chat with my mum. I've never, ever won a discussion or even gone into battle with my mum about anything, because she is actually always right about everything. And this was the conversation. Yeah, Charmaine, I think I might have the injection. I went, what? She went, at that time we was talking about the figures that was reported by mainstream media of the number of deaths caused by COVID. Now, we know they were exaggerated, some fabricated, and that not all of the numbers for COVID were deaths as a result of COVID. There could have been other underlying symptoms. People wrongly had it written on birth certificates. And as the figures were being released, I was saying to my mum, they've not even checked the numbers. They don't even add up. Look, they've just copied that from 4 days ago, where they weren't even catching up over the weekends. And this was when lots of us were in a place of fear and not knowing. So we was talking about the media. And you can't trust what's on the telly. You need to be out there seeking truth-telling channels. And I said to my mum, She said, well, the figures, Charmaine, and we'd already agreed the figures were fabricated. And then I said to her, so what are you basing your decision on, Mum? Like, to have the injection? Why would you put poison in your body when you don't know what's in it? And she went, well, I'd wait and see. I said, for what? She went, for the figures. I said, what figures? She went, on how it was getting on with other people. I went, who reports the figures? She went, the WHO. I went, what does that stand for? She went, World Health Organization. I went, run by who? Bill Gates. Who owns what? All the pharmaceutical company. Who stands to profit how many billions? I scratched my head. I said, you don't trust the figures they've reported, and yet you're going to inject yourself based on figures you know you can't trust, by people that stand to gain substantially, not less. The control issue is another issue. And I was like, I don't understand your logic. So my plant medicine choice seems really easy for me when I compare it to just how some other people's way of thinking is going on, because that way of thinking doesn't make sense to me. And I get that my way of turning to the plant medicines to assist in my growth, teaching how I can evolve as a person, I get that other people will not understand that as a choice.
Well, no, and I think it's all about informed decisions. And as I say, there's a lot of views, and what I like to do is to balance that and to hear the other side, many different things, because then people can make an informed decision. It's very difficult. As I say, I always want things to be safe. I always want them to be legal. Is it legal?
In Portugal, yes. That's why I've got to go out to Portugal to do the retreats. But the joy is I haven't got to fly all the way out to Peru and go in the jungle, which is why I'm excited. It's Europe, it's a lot closer to home. It is a retreat. The jungle was a phenomenal experience, but I'm definitely nowhere near ready for a month in the jungle in Peru drinking ayahuasca every day. I'm not doing ayahuasca for that. It is to come back into harmony, balance, more love, nurture. As you could see, I had a really hard time accepting back then. I'm in a different space now, so I'm hoping it will be a lot calmer in the journey. But even if it isn't, the growth is great. Like the process happens after you drink ayahuasca. You're only actually in the ceremony for about 6 hours, and that's it.
Only 6 hours. I mean, that's quite a lengthy ceremony, so this is the journey, and thank you for sharing that sort of side. It is fascinating. I would always urge, say, the most important thing is to be safe. And,
yes.
Have there been instances where people have gone the wrong way? It hasn't been so safe?
No, not that I've heard of, not ever. Okay. People have difficult journeys, which you've heard mine. I've described them, but no, and it even took a year to put me back together from Peru. But no, the process takes as long as it takes, but the proof's in the pudding. And whenever all the research I've done, and I've gone through top names all the way down to just individual people that are sharing their journey on YouTube, and their exponential growth, their perception, their sense of being in their authentic self. I mean, the healing, like people that are riddled with arthritis, they're walking again after. People that have got these chronic illnesses, they're healed. Like there's so many examples of where it's done good, but like I said, there's no official research in this country.
We should encourage official research. I mean, this is what I'm saying.
I went to London Reel's film premiere in London last winter, and you could stand there and you could have your picture taken with Dennis McKenna. So I slipped my business card in his pocket and I said, I need to speak to whoever works at Imperial College who's doing the research, because there is research being done at the moment. I said, they're doing it in a hospital setting. I said, you don't do it in a hospital setting. I said, you go out to Peru and do it. I said, so these, whatever their findings are, they're not true to the medicine. They're not true to the icros. They're not true to the healing. They're not true to the setting. They're not true to what you're taught to what the plants are, how the indigenous people have used them for healing, which is why people have to travel all over the world to be able to get this indigenous healing and from the plant. And healers from all over the world now are getting trained. Like you can, Portugal, it's on our doorstep, like we are so lucky. So I actually spoke to Anna Fielding and said to her my concerns, that plant medicine is being tested in a hospital laboratory environment. Is there no way they could, as part of their research, do a comparison between the effect or the I don't know what their testing is, what their program, what their research includes, but is there no way they could do it in a Western environment and then do exactly the same tests, but using Shaman, incorporating the Icaros, the Shikapas?
Yeah. Well, I think that's right.
Journey.
That's if people set the parameters for what would be a fair test. I think that's something we should look at. So when do you go? Just put a time frame on this, then, Charmaine. And when are you scheduled to go to Portugal?
I leave tomorrow.
Oh, you leave tomorrow. Good.
Yeah, when I messaged you earlier, like, this is my final prep. Like, I'm off. This is my little picture of Aya. So the next time you speak to me will be after the ceremony.
Can we contact you whilst you're in Portugal? Will you be contactable?
Yes, I will. But I'm going to take my little Wi-Fi box. It won't be on the retreat. I'll have to leave the retreat. They're normally very strict with no phones, no music. Even in Peru, I took 3 different devices because the thought of not having music for me, like, I needed something, and yeah, they even took them off of me, and they said I wasn't going in enough, and they took my music off me, and that crucified me. So
how long are you at this retreat?
I'll be out there a week, and my nan lives in Marbella, so if I decide to stay on, I'll be able to stay on. But yeah, I should hopefully be back. I don't know. I'm just on SHA time. Like, I've got away for 4 days before and come back 4 months later. Is quite normal for me.
Right. Okay. Well,
but yes, I'll be taking my Wi-Fi box and that with me, so you will be speaking to me, and it might be in this country. I might just feel the need to come straight home. That's how I was in Peru. I was done. I couldn't wait to get
All I
home.
can urge, Shaman, is to be safe. You've assured me that it is safe. You've taken advice.
Oh, okay, I'll send you little messages. Like, I'll let you know. I'll do you because I'll do little
I
blogs.
think that the proper scientific research with the experts who can look at that sort of side, I think if there are those sort of positive benefits, then people should look at it.
Yeah,
But keep that question. But as I say, I'm not an expert on those matters. I'm reassured if you say, but you're telling me there's no examples of it not being safe, and you work on that sort of basis. But that's all I would urge. But maybe we'll speak before you go through the actual process, and
okay.
you can relax and all the positive stuff that you've spoken
You
about.
sound really worried. You
Oh no,
haven't got to
I
be
am worried because
worried.
I don't know. I'm not in a position to
You
comment.
sound like my mum when she's really trying to be upbeat, and I know she's thinking, "How's it going?" I get
No, I
used
don't
to
think,
it.
but people are worried about things they don't know about. So what I'm saying is that
Even though I'm all smiles, you want to believe that when I go up on my knees to the altar to drink that medicine, that I will be bricking it. I will have tears. I will be holding my breath. I will go to my little blanket on my little bed on the floor, closing my eyes and just trust. And that's all you can do. They say surrender and let go, but I know how resistant I am. So
there
hopefully,
are people there, just to make sure we're
oh yeah, there's people there. They sing,
people there who will
they
make, even
rattle.
though you said there's been no reported examples of anybody that's gone bad for, there are people there to make sure you're safe. Yeah.
Oh, always, yeah. They have a team,
Okay.
but because it's a private ceremony, it might just be like me and one other shaman. It's all being recorded anyway. Um, so yeah, oh, you're perfectly safe. You're well looked after. You know, even if you just turn in your bed and you need assistance or you need some healing, the shaman will come out. That they make you do your own work. I'm not going to lie about it. You know, they're not going to come over and go, "Oh, you be sick." No, they're just going to sit you. They're just going to sit and watch you be sick. They'll probably have a smile on their face if I'm honest. It's like when you're sick, it's a purge, it's a release, and ayahuasca releases trauma within us and stuff like that. So you've just got to let it go. And yes, the shaman are there all the way through, from start to finish. They're holding space. They've got the icros on, the candles are on. Yeah, oh yeah, you're in a mega safe environment.
Good. Well, that's as I say, it's not an area that I know about. I'm always, whilst I'm open to everything, and the first thing I talk about is safety. And
Yes.
I would always try and make sure that you get different people on different things. But we're going to go. I mean, well, thank you for sharing this journey with us. What time? How are you getting down to Portugal?
I'm going to get a lift in the morning, um, and yeah, and then take it from there.
But maybe on the journey, because that journey in and of itself, as they've lifted the restrictions on people traveling, that would be an interesting journey to see how you cope, what sort of protections are in place, and so on and so on. Can we share that journey as well?
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, we can do that.
Let's have a look at that, because people are now learning to travel and that sort of stuff and this sort of things, and then we can have a look at that side. Um,
Okay.
but for now, good luck with the rest of the preparation.
Thank you.
What time are you heading off tomorrow?
I'm leaving at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay, fantastic. Well, look, you've got your mobile phone with you all the time anyway, so you'll be able
Yep.
to keep us posted. And you obviously took very detailed journals last time. I'm sure you're going to do the same this time.
Yes.
But ultimately, you're excited about the journey?
Yeah, yeah. I'll be honest with you. All that's been like, even today, I was doing an Aya dispatcho. It's I know I'm getting ready to go into ceremony. So yeah, it's almost like you get a calling, and it's almost like she sits there nodding her head. At the moment, it's quite strange. It's like little downloads. I'm well aware I'm getting ready for ceremony. So at the moment, that is literally all my mind, body, and soul thinks about. Even when I open the fridge and see food I'm not allowed to eat, it's a constant reminder. So yeah, I'm excited. I am.
Okay. Well, listen, it's thank you so much for sharing. I wish you every success, and as I say, keep us on the journey. Absolutely keep safe. You're assuring me you're safe.
Yes, I am safe. Perfectly, perfectly safe.
Okay. Charmaine, thank you very much for joining me, and we look forward to going on this journey a little bit further with you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So that was Charmaine. Thank you very much for joining us. And whatever the issues raised in this program, as you heard, my paramount importance for me is to ensure that it's safe. Charmaine says that it is safe. I don't know, is the short answer. I'd always try and surround myself with experts. While we do question everything, it's only by questioning everything and having an open mind, but make sure that we've got the experts, make sure that things are safe. We're going to document the journey. She's done it before. She says there's been no trouble with other people. Again, I don't know. But interesting subjects, interesting journey. If you are interested in this sort of thing, do write to me. If you have suggestions for other guests who might like to talk about other aspects, looking at the world in a slightly different way, write to guests@octopustv.com. In the meantime, be good, be safe, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.